Title: Discipline and Consistency, the silent power behind every great story. There was once a young man named Aarav who lived in a small town, full of big dreams and even bigger distractions. Like many of us, he believed that success came from motivation, that sudden burst of energy you feel after watching an inspiring video or hearing a powerful speech. And for a while, that belief worked. Every Monday, Aarav would wake up early, energized, ready to change his life. He would write goals in a notebook, promise himself that this time things would be different, and start working with intense focus. But by Wednesday, something would shift. The alarm would feel heavier. The notebook would stay closed. The energy would fade. And by Friday, the dream would quietly disappear into the background, waiting for the next Monday. This cycle repeated for months. Until one day, something unexpected happened. The turning point. Aarav met an old man at a park, someone who didn't look extraordinary, but carried a strange sense of calm. Every morning, without fail, the man would walk the same path, sit on the same bench, and read the same kind of books. Curious, Aarav approached him. "Sir," he asked, "how do you stay so consistent? Don't you ever feel lazy or unmotivated?" The old man smiled. "Of course I do," he replied, "but I don't wait for motivation, I rely on discipline." Aarav frowned. "Aren't they the same?" The man shook his head. "Motivation is like a spark, discipline is the engine, and consistency is the journey." That sentence stayed with Aarav, understanding the difference. That night, Aarav sat quietly, thinking about what he had heard. Motivation had always been his starting point, but it was unreliable. It came and went like the weather. Discipline, on the other hand, sounded different. It wasn't emotional. It wasn't exciting. It was steady. And consistency. Consistency was simply showing up, again and again, even when nothing exciting was happening. For the first time, Aarav realized something important. Success isn't built on what you do occasionally. It's built on what you do repeatedly. The first step, showing up. The next morning, Aarav decided to try something different. No big goals, no dramatic plans. Just one rule: show up. He woke up at the same time, sat at his desk, and worked for just 1 hour. It wasn't perfect. He felt distracted. His mind wandered, but he didn't stop. The next day, he did it again. And the next. Some days were good, some days were terrible, but he kept showing up. The struggle phase. Let's be honest, this is the phase where most people quit. And Aarav was no different. After 2 weeks, he started questioning everything. What's the point? I'm not improving. This is boring. These thoughts became louder each day. This is where discipline is tested, not when things are exciting, but when they are dull. One evening, Aarav almost gave up. But then he remembered the old man's words. Consistency is the journey. So instead of quitting, he made a deal with himself. No matter what happens, I will show up tomorrow. Why discipline feels hard. Let's pause the story for a moment, because this is something important. Discipline feels hard because it goes against our natural instincts. Our brain is wired for comfort, not growth. It prefers easy tasks over difficult ones. It chooses instant pleasure over long-term rewards. It avoids pain, effort, and uncertainty. So when you try to build discipline, you are literally going against your own programming. That's why it feels uncomfortable. But here, the truth. Growth always lives on the other side of discomfort. The power of small wins. After a month, something interesting happened. Aarav didn't feel motivated. But he also didn't feel resistance anymore. His routine had become normal. He didn't have to convince himself to start. He just started. And slowly, he began to see results. Not massive results, but small ones. His focus improved. His confidence grew. His work became better. These small wins were powerful because they proved one thing. Consistency works even when it feels like it doesn't. The compound effect. Think about it like this. If you improve just 1% every day, in a year, you won't be 365% better. You'll be exponentially better. This is called the compound effect. Small actions, repeated consistently, create massive results over time. Just like saving a small amount of money daily leads to wealth. Exercising a little each day builds strength. Learning a bit every day builds mastery. The key is not intensity. The key is consistency. The real transformation. 6 months later, Aarav was no longer the same person. Not because of talent, not because of luck, but because of discipline. He had built a system, a routine, a habit of showing up. And the best part, he didn't need motivation anymore. He had become someone who acted regardless of how he felt. Discipline versus motivation. Let's make this crystal clear. Motivation comes and goes, while discipline stays steady. Motivation is emotion-based, whereas discipline is action-based. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is long-lasting. Motivation feels exciting, but discipline often feels boring. Motivation is unreliable, while discipline is reliable. Motivation might get you started, but discipline keeps you going. And consistency ensures you reach the destination. Real-life example. Think about a gym. In January, it's full. Everyone is motivated. By February, half the people are gone. By March, only a few remain. What's the difference? It's not intelligence. It's not ability. It's discipline and consistency. The ones who stay are not always the most talented. They are the most consistent. The hidden truth. Here's something most people don't talk about. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about continuing, even when you fail. Aarav missed days. He had bad weeks. But he didn't quit. That's what made the difference. Consistency is not about never breaking. It's about never stopping. Building discipline in your life. Now let's bring this to you. If you want to build discipline and consistency, start simple. 1. Start small. Don't aim for 5 hours of work. Start with 30 minutes. 2. Set a fixed time. Make it part of your routine. 3. Remove distractions. Environment matters more than motivation. 4. Focus on process, not results. Don't chase outcomes, chase actions. 5. Be patient. Results take time. 6. Forgive yourself. Miss a day, continue the next. The identity shift. This is the most powerful part. At some point, Aarav stopped saying, "I'm trying to be disciplined," and started saying, "I am a disciplined person." That shift changed everything. Because your actions follow your identity. If you believe you are consistent, you act consistently. The final lesson. Years later, Aarav returned to the same park. The old man was still there. Same bench, same routine. Aarav smiled and said, "I understand now." The old man looked up. "What do you understand?" Aarav replied, "Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now, and consistency is proving that choice every single day." The old man nodded. "Then you've learned the hardest lesson." Conclusion. Your life is not defined by your goals. It is defined by your habits. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the level of your discipline. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be is simply what you do every day. So start small. Show up. Stay consistent. Because in the end, success is not a single moment. It is the result of thousands of quiet, disciplined actions, repeated when no one is watching. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent.